Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka Punk with Toys on all the social medias.
And we are back for Landman Season 2, Episode 3, Almost a Home. I love this episode. I love this show. This is a fantastic show. It makes me very happy. Every time it pops up on my screen, I'm like, yes, good TV, good TV.
So, we've discussed in everything that we've talked about filler, other than maybe Murderbot, which the episodes
So
like
short.
21. There were 21 episodes, so you couldn't have filler. There's a lot of filler in this episode, but it's not bad filler. If it makes me laugh and it is progressing the story, I don't have a problem with the filler. I hate the filler that I feel like you had to make an episode 45 minutes when in actuality it could have been 35 minutes. This episode was, I think, 51 minutes.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like it was. And you can feel, if you're really looking at it, you can see the filler. But I don't have a problem with it because it's enjoyable. It makes me laugh. It makes the show better.
Yeah, definitely does. So introducing the new characters. Also bringing more backstory to existing characters like Cami. Oh man, she's now I understand why they cast Demi Moore for this role. It's like, remember that was a question. Why is she a back end to Monty and that actor? It's blanking on his name, but we all know who he was. He was a big from Mad Men and stuff.
Mad Men and
Yep. I'm blanking on his name. People are going to put him in the comments. How do you know he played Don Draper? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But we were wondering, and this is why. This was a long game. They knew season 2, Cami was gonna take center stage, and she's killing it right now.
If there was a long game of like, hey, we need at least 3 seasons, and if we get a season 2, the idea is that we're gonna kill Monty off. And not kill him off, but he's going to die.
Yeah.
And then his wife is going to take over. We need a strong actress. Mm-hmm. She just has to understand she's going to have a small bit in season 1. People aren't even going to realize who it was. And then you need a strong actress, which Demi Moore is. She can play anything.
So good. It's so good. Just like you said, it's like no one really knew. And I remember seeing early on Reddit and stuff like, is Demi Moore in this show? Is that who that is? It just brought him a drink when he was at the poolside. And I was like,
I had no idea until I was looking, I think, at IMDb, and I was like, or maybe I saw that at Demi Moore. I'm like, where's Demi Moore in this? And then you see it and you're like, wow.
Yeah. And then some people thought it's like, oh wow, this is what she's been reduced to. She's taking these side roles. But then she just did that at the time that horror movie came out where something happened with her. But I didn't see that movie, but apparently it was a horror movie she was in. Won all these awards. Very good.
You know, there's actors and actresses that have to audition for any role they do. There are other actors and actresses, they don't audition. A role is created for them. I feel Demi Moore is one of those people where it's like, hey, we wrote this with you in mind. Now, I'm sure they have 3 or 4 or 5 other people in mind, but they have actors or actresses in mind that can play this character. I don't think that she walked into audition for this. This is one that's like either she reached out. Yeah. Oh yeah, either she reached out and said, "Hey, Taylor, I love your stuff. If you have a role for me." Same with Billy Bob, right? Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
You don't audition him. You already know who he is. You know who Demi Moore is. So.
All right. And you know who we are. This is what we do. We go into it. We cover these shows. We got a bunch of shows. You can click on the playlist. You can check it out. Mad Men, Terminalist, Dark. You name it. We got it. Bunch of stuff.
We didn't do Mad Men.
What I just said Mad Men? I said, Mobland. Mad Men is on my brain because of the whole Don Monty situation. There we go. Oh man, I'm blanking. But yeah, you guys know it. We haven't been around that long. Holy moly. But yeah, Dexter Resurrection, bunch of shows. But anyway, thanks again for all the support. Numbers been growing. People have been subbing. The hypes and the shares. It's all out there. Thank you all. thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been great. This is something that we wanted to do. Just cover the shows that we like, talk to you folks, and then do a little back and forth, and then just keep it chill. That's it. And it's been working out. So thank you all. Thank you, thank you. So let's get into this. This was very interesting because right off the bat, I've never seen a truck like this, right? We see a bunch of guys going hunting for boar. I've seen that,
boar
but
hunting.
I've never seen this type of tier truck. What's that? Some kind of attachment on top of a truck where the guy is almost like that was new to me. You've seen
I
something?
mean, I've never seen anything like that, but it makes sense. I mean, if they're actually hunting and they probably have this, I mean, if we looked it up, we'd probably see it.
Oh yeah,
It's just an opening, and I believe the driver was on top. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of
it
feel
was
bad
very
for the
cool. I'm
boars
sure
if
people,
that's what they're doing, but
if that's what they're doing for other things. But yeah, it looked like something out of Mad Max. I was like, what is this?
yes,
It's like,
yes,
right? It's all contraption, but it was cool.
It looked like something from G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the later years of like the late 90s, early 90s, where it's like they're just creating stuff that makes
Oh
no
yeah.
sense. But yeah, that's what it looked like. And we quickly see like they get a boar, and the one guy goes down and he's taking a picture, which people love to take selfies with with stuff like this, and
Of course.
he collapses, and then these guys get down and they all just collapse instantly.
And then a nice little drone shot, and we see that there's a bunch of wildlife around. Everything's dead. Everything around there is dead.
And we do see the oil well, or the whatever it is, oil.
Yeah, because what we find out is that this is the drill site that in last episode Tommy told, I think it was Theodore, that was the crew chief, or that's with all the other ones. Hey, do me a favor, go check them out. I have a feeling that they were selling it or something is going on where he can pick up the lease. And he said, go check it out, see if it's even worth it. So I'm trying to figure out the timeline. I should have learned my lesson from Reacher, but only because it seems as if it's still part of that same day. Because he said, all right, yeah, I'll go. And that's where I'm assuming he went from when we saw him talking about eating the venison and for breakfast, the burritos and all that stuff.
But Dale wasn't with him then.
That's what I'm saying. Dale wasn't with him. So I guess he went on a different day, but it's just, I'm overthinking. I shouldn't even think about that. I hate it. I hate that I look into these things, the stupid things like that. Because I was like, whoa, what day is this? When didn't he just tell you to go check it out? And now are you doing it the same day or are you doing it the next day? But anyway, this is that site. Like that's what picked up in my mind. And then we find out that is exactly what's going on here. We get a quick little glimpse of Cami. She's still over at Monty's office looking through the paperwork. That's a mess. We know that's going to end badly. Right off the bat, we already know that with all the issues going on and everything that's happening there, nothing's good there. Tommy and Angela go for a drive. We find out she is going to go meet with this real estate guy to buy a house. She's
aggravated. She's trying to do her makeup. He's swerving all over the place because that's how you drive. I drive all day. I don't drive like that. Like they show a drone shot of it. Like, wait, you don't drive like that, right? But she's getting aggravated over it. He says this is what you do when you drive. But yeah, she's going house hunting. He's just placating her, right? Like he can't afford these things. She thinks they can because he's been named, president.
And it's a lot of not filling in the blanks. He doesn't talk money. We don't hear a lot about money, like how much he gets paid or this and that or the salary boost. She just knows title. You're running a business and it's a big business, so you gotta have the money for it. And he says that I don't have it, but doesn't. She's not buying it. She just thinks it's fluff.
She doesn't listen. I think is
she doesn't. She doesn't. She's got her own thing. And I forgot that they are divorced. And it wasn't until the very end. I just want to bring it up here because I forgot all about that. Yeah, that's right. She was married to the other dude. Because at first I thought, oh, they're legally separated, and she was dating some rich dude, remember, and had the car and also. But then I didn't know she had married that guy. I forgot. Yeah. I'm sorry. There we go.
Don't you remember she left the papers there, or he left the papers there, and she wanted the car.
That's right. Yeah.
He gave her so much money, and that was it. Especially when he found out that she was.
Yeah, she went back to their ex.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yep. She wants to give him a happy ending during the drive, but he gets a call from Cammy. That was pretty crazy.
no. Actually, she tries doing it, then a cop pulls next to
Oh,
him.
now that, yeah, I wrote that and I was like, not true. That's why I didn't have an accident. There's no way a cop would be able to see that and say, I can give you citation for what? It's in their vehicle. Yes, if he's swerving like crazy, but
He was
if he sees it,
swerving. He was swerving. He pulled up next to him. Probably
mhm,
recognized the truck.
everybody knows
He
Tommy.
saw. He saw. I mean, no, her head was in his lap. That is
I know.
distracted driving. And there's a citation because she doesn't have a seatbelt on. I mean, there's 100 reasons, right?
All right, all
And he
right.
basically just tells him, "Hey, you know what? I can give you a citation. Stop it."
Look at that party pooper over here. Really? Is that a thing? But hey, whatever. He knows everybody. Tommy knows the chief of police. He just screamed and cursed at him in the last episode. So it's like I don't think this was going to go anywhere. But it was a funny moment. Very funny. Gets a call from Cammy. Cammy says, "I need you to come down to Fort Worth. We got to talk. We got to find the money because right now she's seeing a lot of debt and no money." So at least we know that that's going to happen, and that's where he's going. He's going to go, and then he calls to connect with Rebecca. Rebecca's at the gym. There was a funny little back and forth with that situation because again, Angela just talks reckless, and she's bringing up all kinds of stuff. And he was like, we're still on the call. Rebecca could hear this, and yeah, that was comical. She
Instead of
is.
complimenting Rebecca, like she does the opposite of what you think. You would think someone like Angela would be insulting. She's like complimenting
Oh
Rebecca
yeah,
and how she looks and everything. She's the opposite of what you would think someone is like that looks like that. Until the
yeah.
end when Tommy says, "I love your wife."
Yeah, because she's very secure with herself. She works out. She's beautiful. She knows it. We had someone in the comments like, "Who's prettier, the daughter or both?" Come on now. I mean, that's the show is pointing that out. They're very big into this. So
And the daughter is not as young as she is playing. She's
of
in her
course not.
20s. But it is definitely hard. I'm like,
Hmm,
I think we all
hmm.
kind of many of us grew up remember Ellie Larder, and she hasn't lost her looks.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't. Yeah. So that's what's going on there. And then we get a quick jump to the crew, right? So
Yeah.
we see Tommy's crew. They show up to that drill site that we just talked about. They don't know what's going on. They're like, all right, let's take a
But
look. You go
so,
up top. Yeah, go ahead.
but when they show up, we can see that this is the same drill that these guys had passed out. We
Hmm.
assume those guys died, right? We just kind of assume it,
Yeah, well,
and then we're confirmed real shortly.
hmm, hmm. Yeah, because I think it was King, right? He goes up top. He tells them, he's like, all right, I'll go up, take a look. They go walking off. But unlike the hunters, these guys are prepared because they have that meter, that little meter, that sensing
Yes,
thing. So they're walking over, they see
that's what
some
the
dead
yellow
cattle.
thing is that we
Yeah,
see on them.
they see some dead cattle and some other stuff going on. And then a gust of wind comes toward them. And then that little meter starts going off. Like, and they freak out. They're like, we got to run, we got to run. And we find with it H2S, right?
Yes.
And this is, what was it? You found out this,
So H2S is it is hydrogen sulfide. So it's a colorless gas with a distinctive rotten egg smell at low concentrations. Highly toxic, flammable, and can be dangerous, especially in enclosed or low-lying areas where it tends to accumulate. It's produced both naturally from decomposition of organic matter or as a byproduct of industrial process like petroleum refining and wastewater treatment. So it's supposed to be like low lying, and that's why they told the guy to stay up there.
hmm.
Now we had some
So,
questions, and we'll get into that when we get to that scene. But
hmm, hmm.
they're all puking. The guy's on top. He's not puking yet. I almost felt like he almost worked himself up into it, but I still don't understand why it rose. And we'll get to that, but they're all
Well,
puking it up. They know what it is. They mentioned it. They call it in. They need they need a helicopter to come get them. I thought the helicopter landed way too way too close. I don't know why they didn't keep moving further away.
Well, why didn't they just get in the truck and drive off? I understand they have to report this. That's what he said. We have to report the site. We have to, okay, but you could do that from a distance.
It's not
Was
like
it?
there's kids and everything playing around there. Like there's no one
Yeah,
else out there.
there's no one else out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then just like what you were reading off regarding if it can rise or not, does it mention a certain height? Because maybe that's it. It
no,
still can hit that height. Maybe it can't rise a certain, like, I don't know, like what, 40, 50 feet. Maybe there's some kind of cutoff. And he just so happened to be in it because it was another gust that came. And that's the
yeah,
one that he was like, oh, I smell something. What's this? The other guy goes running over because they got the mask in the truck, tries to race up there to give him the mask. I thought this was going to be the death of the episode. I'm like, oh, this is it.
yeah.
This dude is going to die. He's not going to, the guy's not going to make it. Give him the mask. It's going to be too late. But
We're kind of jumping ahead talking about the mask.
no, it's all right. But it's just because it's all
do that.
together. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So what I didn't understand was how much time was it before they started saying like you have the hazmat suits, get the hazmat suits, like why wasn't that the first thing that you did to run to that and then grab it and run it to the guy upstairs? Or
Yeah.
upstairs, but on top, who hadn't been infected yet? Because it doesn't sound like it's not transferable. It's not like so I don't understand why they didn't go for that first. I understand they're trying to puke it all out. But why wouldn't they have grabbed the mask and everything and took it up to him before he got hit with it? So that was kind of confusing, but
yeah, I didn't understand that.
One scene, it'd make more sense.
You know, and then maybe that was it because we don't know. Yeah, we'll get back to it real quick. But
when you skip it and you come back to it, it seems like some time has passed. So
yeah, because they were waiting and they were trying to figure out why is it taking so long. So yeah, good questions. A lot of questions. I'm sure people were wondering that as well. Because if they had the mask, that you would think that's the first thing they would have done.
That's the first thing I would have done.
To the truck, grab the mask, go into the truck, call it in, get a mask up to. I think this guy's name is King, but get it up to the guy that went up top, and just take it from there. But hey, it is what it is. We got a quick scene.
I think it's Jarrell that was up there.
That's who it was, Jarrell. All right.
I think.
Well, hopefully he survived. I know he got rushed to the hospital.
He
was the one that got they pulled over. Yep. We see that Ariana's over at, which looks like the same spot everyone goes to, this bar grill type hangout spot, and she's filling out a job application. No experience as a waitress, no experience as a bartender. There's a bunch of audio clips. Yeah, never had a job, but she mentioned she's a widow. At least it's brought up that it's on her resume. She's a widow, she's a child. But hey, the lady wants to help her out. She was like, all right, can you make drinks? Can you do this? Can you do that? And
she asked about being a waitress and asked about her temperament. And she said, and she says, I think what it is in Spanish. And she's like, well, the Mexicans would say no. Like, well, okay, well, you're really not getting this job because if they grab your ass, you can't have this temperament. Now, this is the same bar that we saw last year. And again, I brought it up because it's the owner or the manager, whoever, she was in the Karate Kid 3. That's the only reason why I remembered her.
Well, Karate Kid 3. That was LaRusso's girlfriend when he was running the bonsai tree shop.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. And I did not know that they still tied that in with his wife Amanda in Cobra Kai. That was a cousin. I didn't know. That's a deep cut. I didn't know that.
Her cousin, and that's how Daniel and his wife met, was through her. And I think they moved back to Ohio, and they were out there for something. I just remember they brought her in, and so. Yeah. I could talk about Cobra Kai all day.
I love it. Cobra Kai. There's another spinoff. I don't know if it's happening. That was talked about. They wanted to continue on. I'm sure if it's a great script, then it would get approved. But we'll see. I want
a Johnny and Chosen sitcom.
Johnny and Chosen.
That's those guys had great chemistry.
They were funny. Yeah, Chosen was funny.
Back and forth.
I'm not all fond of the whole movie deal that they did. That other one where they went to New York and they had
it was fine. It's just a remake of the first movie. I mean,
pretty much. They're telling it in a different way. Yep. Online stuff. But,
and if you guys don't know, the guy that plays Chosen is completely American.
He
no accent whatsoever, and when you hear him talk, you're like, It's
Yeah.
worse than Rick Grimes. All right.
Well, it was the same thing with Mr. Miyagi.
Yes. Yes.
He also did the same thing. But oh, real quick, the bartender says, "You know what? We need people. I'll just throw you into the fire. That's it. You're gonna
Yep.
work now." Pretty much. There goes that. We see that Tommy shows up with his wife over at the first house, at least. And the real estate guy's there. He drops her off. Boom. That's it. They're done.
So he drops her out. I feel like Tommy's like, I hope this guy just takes her. I hope
Well,
this guy just takes her. All right. Like she calls me up and says, "Don't even bother. I'm marrying this guy." Like,
yeah, it's definitely an interesting relationship they have. But she wasn't joking when she talked about a 5-bedroom house only, because the first house they pulled, that's a huge house. And then the second one that we see later, it's even bigger with the fountain and everything. I mean, she is.
they have Ainsley that's gonna live there, and then if Cooper comes and if Cooper brings his girlfriend's kid and he's raising
Ariana,
her
yeah,
kid or
yeah,
has his
yeah,
own, then
yeah,
they gotta like
yeah.
she
They
spelled it
planned it
all
out.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike me, if I went shop house hunting, I'd be like, all right, does it have a basement? Has this basement a full-size basement? Can I build shelves for action figures? Where
Yeah,
can I
oh,
do my
there you go.
podcast?
There we go. Right? You just redo everything. But yeah, if it's a big house, you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yes.
That's always good. So then Tommy shows up at the office. Was it a Sun
Danny.
Creek? This is the Danny Morell.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the business partner of Cooper's. And Cooper, he's gone further than Cooper has, because Cooper doesn't even know who he's partners with. Remember, that was the whole funny part of
Well,
it.
he thinks that it's a company.
Mm-hmm.
Like this company is doing it, where Tommy does the research and realizes, no, it's a company, but this is the guy that you are dealing with.
Yeah, and the guy, the way he gets his money and stuff, it seems like it's with drugs. He's working on that side. That was one of the things that he showed up the end of last episode when he handed over the file. So he meets with him. This is the confusing part, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to figure this out or weren't too sure. This guy was not at that meet and drink breakfast. There were some people that were like, "Oh, he was there." This character. This is Andy Garcia character. He was there. No, he wasn't.
I think there was someone that looked similar, and there was a Dan there.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't this guy.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
I feel like this guy knows who Tommy is. You don't think that he knows who Tommy is.
People put in the comments. You think I go say your part and then I'll say my part.
He talked to Tommy like he knew exactly what Tommy does, what Tommy is what he's all about, and that when he signed with Cooper, he knew that he was getting his dad that was going to be involved in it, even though his dad technically has nothing to do with it. To me, it felt like he knew, hey, I have your son. That means you're in business with me, because he knew that his son, as smart as he was, is clueless.
All right. Well,
to me, it felt like he knew who Tommy was.
I don't think he knew, because when Tommy first walked in and he starts talking to him and he's like, "Oh, with the oil," he's like, "Hey, we struck it, not just 1-6," and he's like, "This is great. We're partners." Like, "You're not partners with me." He's like, "But you're Norris." Like he thought that was no. You're with my 22-year-old son, and he goes on the whole rant and the whole thing. So I don't think he knows that, and it was very awkward with the whole vibe there.
Yeah, I took it as, hey.
And also,
if he's supposed to be a gangster, or that's like he's a mobster, right? That's how it's being portrayed. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. No.
And it's kind of like, if your son's in bed with us, so are you.
See, but
that's
then
why I was getting it.
To tie this in is that toward the end, when Cami meets up with everybody and they're all at the private club, right? The Cattleman's Club. He's there and he doesn't know her. He doesn't know her. Doesn't know Monty either. There. That's what I'm saying. If you know Tommy, then you know who he works for.
And that's why I said I was confused on this.
Yeah, I don't think. Go ahead, people. Put in the comments. What do you think? Did he know Tommy and Tommy's role, or was he really just, hey, I'm signing with this young kid. I have faith that he knows what he's talking about. And it sounds like this was also his first time, because he said he hired some oil experts or something like that. Yeah. He's because
Well,
even Tommy was surprised by that. He was like, "Oh, you got some guys." Yeah. They know about that stuff. I just invest. I invest in people, and he had a great pitch, which is interesting because they never met. So where did you get this pitch from? Did he just write this down on a note, hand it to the guy who owned the property, who we did see, the older guy, and that guy made this deal? Not
Danny,
sure.
Danny, he laid out exactly what the deal is, and what his, hey, we recoup 100% until we get our money back, but we get 50-50, or it's 50-50 until then. So it's gonna take longer since he had no money.
Hmm.
But this is where I was confused and I was waiting for Tommy to say something. Is he said it's a 70-30 split. Or he said it's normally a 70-30 split, but this is a 60-40. If I remember correctly, they said 18% in that contract.
Yeah, it was some crazy numbers, a lot back and forth. And he said he was going to give him a better deal. Right?
Yeah.
Remember that was the thing. So I'm gonna give you a better deal, but it didn't even get there because Tommy's like, we're not doing any business with drug dealers. Oh, why you insult me? And he's like, I
Yeah.
know where you get your money. And he's like, it's not that. It's what I do with the money. And that's where he was getting. And that's when he was talking about investing in people and this and that. And it was pretty cool. They went back and forth with the whole thing.
Yeah. So
But
no matter where the money came from originally, all his
mhm.
money now is clean, is what he's basically saying.
Yeah.
If they deal with drugs, or if there's people that he's associated that would deal with drugs, his money is clean.
Yep. We get that quick. We already went through it, but we get a quick jump back with the crew on
Yep.
site. Another windstorm comes in. Everybody at this point has their masks on, except the dude that's up top. There's that whole race. The chopper shows up. Very cool to hear the chopper. I guess not the pilot. Well, it was the pilot talking to the other one that was talking about going down. He's like, no,
Yeah.
you can't go down there. You got to send a hook. You can't. No, you got to bring them up.
Now,
But
why
then
are they being sent in without masks? That's what I didn't understand. Like that was
that is true. That's what I was getting at because we heard him say on the call what it was. This
yeah.
H2S, we have a leak, So you would think they would be prepared, or if anything, throw down a mask to that guy that's up high. I thought that's what was
Yeah.
going to happen, but no. But either way, they cool scene, put the harness, pull him up. I wonder if the actor was able to do that, or did they replace him with a dummy? If I was the actor, I would want that experience. I'm like, yeah, pull me up. This is cool. It's
I
like,
don't know.
with,
As bad as my back was feeling after all the work that I've done, I would have liked to just let that stretch me.
right?
Um,
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool, really cool. But then, very interesting because at this point they were like, all right, we're going to the hospital, and
they'll just drive away.
they just drive away. You could have did that before. It's like, what the hell? Like, but hey,
I didn't understand that at all. That was like somebody shooting at you. You call in and you wait for the police to come, and then you're like, now we're gonna leave. Like I would have left.
mhm,
I would have grabbed the guy. We have our masks on. We're gonna get out. Call it in.
yeah.
You can meet us further out, away from the danger.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
that's yeah, that I didn't understand. I was like, yeah, you got your car, you got multiple. We see it. They do a drone shot showing all of them driving off. I was like, yeah, you could have did that, and then just told the whoever they called to just take a look at the
And
site. But
so King, I think, was the one that was like saying, I have a family, I can't do this. And the Native American guy, where he's like, dude, I have a family. Stop. Like, don't, I want to go see them. Like, I feel like there's going to be more with King. At least I think that's King, right?
yeah,
That,
that or Theodore.
there's going to be more of
Yeah.
a story with him.
Oh yeah, something's gonna happen. We know that he's a family man. That's a
Yeah.
deal. Something that, yeah, there's a reason for everything. And yeah, we talk about fluff and stuff, but all these things are planted for a reason. There's some shows that put stuff in that makes no sense. It's just to fill spots. But there, like you said, yeah, something's gonna come back. I think he's gonna try to quit. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We got a quick scene with Cooper. He's at his drill site. Dad calls him, says, you know what, stop the drilling. Stop it.
Yes.
He's like, what? Everything is good. No. I already talked to the guy. It's not good. It's not good. All right. So tell me, no, we'll do this in person. So just stop what you're doing. And he's like,
Once
all
in
right,
your
fine.
life, listen to me. I feel like
Right.
Cooper listened to him a lot.
Well, he's been lucky. Think about this. Right? He drops out of school. He shows up on site to learn the business. Lucky and not lucky, but then the second day on the job and the drill blows, right? Has
Yeah,
that
but
whole
then
thing
he
happen?
has sex for a while with his
Right,
dad's wife.
there you go.
I mean, I
He
mean, not
gets
the worst
to
luck.
have
He doesn't get his
relations with
ass
this
beat pretty
beautiful
bad.
woman. Everything is great. He hits oil, becomes a rich tycoon. He puts the antlers on a, on a limousine. Life is good, right? No, but either way, things have been interesting for this character for
Yes, but
sure.
so that's the only time we see Cooper.
That's it. Goodbye, Cooper. It was
Yeah,
nice.
but he tells me, put a suit on and make sure you have a suit for the funeral. I don't have a suit. Get it. Like, go buy one.
Well,
Your
that
dad
brings up a
told you
good
to stop
question.
working today, so just go get a suit.
But
How about
also, does he even have any money? Because yes, there's like, oh, you got millions of dollars, but that's what if once you
Tommy,
sign
Tommy would have been like, "Hey, take
the
use
charge
my
card,
account."
family
Yeah,
charge,
he
exactly,
would have
charge
told him.
card.
Like,
Ainsley calls the ad at the same time and then starts
just a
talking
bitch.
about just a
Yeah.
bitch talking about again. This is kind of I don't really understand this dynamic that she has with her brother because she was like, is he going to be there? Yeah, you're going to a funeral. I mean, what do you mean? Is he going to be there? Of course he's going to be there. Why? He smells and this and this. Like, it's very childish. At first I thought it was just for
It.
jokes, but she
So I,
sounds genuine. Like she means this.
so I
She
think it
doesn't like him.
works because I find her to be very immature, and I told you
Oh,
I don't think
she's
she's
very.
smart. She's not smart. So this
Mhm.
is exactly how a preteen or a young teenager acts towards her sibling. She's just
Mhm.
continuing on and on and on. So it works, and it was short. It was uh, a short enough scene that we don't have to like drag it
Yeah.
on.
No. That's it. So that's done. This is the very important scene that came up here. This is where Cami and Tommy and Nate, and they're just trying to figure this out because she brings all the documents. She says, "Hey, look, we don't have any money. What's going on here? Where is it?" And it turns out, what was it? There was a bunch of LLCs,
Yep.
and whatever they made went into a bigger pot, and that had the money, but they couldn't see where that money went. So then that's when they were like, all right, well, we got to find Alan. Alan was the money guy for MTech for the company here because they can't trace it. And right now
Yeah.
it looks like they're
So
broke.
this is what I like about this show a lot, and we'll see it later on when Nate and Dale are talking. But Nate has like he's explaining everything. Like they all have their specific specialties
Yeah.
that they're all important. You go back to Tulsa King, and it's just like everything is whatever Manfredi says, whatever Sylvester Stallone's like, he's the one that knows everything. Landman, it's like Tommy doesn't know everything. So Nate's explaining certain things,
Mhm.
and then Rebecca understands other things, and then we have like
Mhm.
everyone has a purpose, and no one overshoots them or they have to be smarter than them. That's why I think it's written out so well. But
Yeah.
it is explained that like every time they acquired something, he paid the debt down enough, but the money has to be coming from somewhere, and they have no idea where it's at.
And there was a bunch of loans with the various banks,
A
and
lot.
they would just give them credit
I
because
think they named off every bank that I've ever heard of.
yeah, it was pretty crazy, and it's funny because Rebecca's there and they're going through the whole thing. But that one scene when she was still at the gym and she's like, "I have to get on a plane." He's like, "What do you mean? It's our plane. It'll be there forever. It'll wait there. You don't have to tell them anything." You
Yeah,
know?
he said you have to push back your flight. How do I do it? It's our plane.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
don't show up.
It's not going to leave without you. It's got nowhere to go. You know. Oh man, it's like I got a private driver. Oh, I gotta go. He's waiting for me to drive you. If you don't show up, he goes nowhere. Oh boy. But yeah, that was funny. But yeah, so now that they have to go and find Alan, and they find out that where would he hang out? And they're like, well,
Yeah.
the Cattlemen's Club, right over in Fort Worth. So that's where they're gonna go. What was it? That's where we get a quick scene with Angela. She takes a look at this fancy house. Oh man, that was an amazing house. Now, I when it comes to big houses, they look great, and I've been to a few, but majority of the time, these big houses are out in nowhere land. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling where I'm disconnected. So yeah, it's great. You have all these rooms, in-ground pool, indoor, and all that stuff. But
Not
then it
here.
feels very alone. I would,
Not
you would
here.
love it. You would love that.
No, I'm saying not here. Like the big houses. I mean, they're
Oh, okay. There.
yeah. We have some of these huge houses in Birmingham, Michigan. That's one of that's where you see like a lot of the athletes live.
Okay.
I mean these houses, these mansions. These houses are so close to each other, you could ollie across from one house to the other. I swear to God. Like, you might be able to fit, like, a lawnmower. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I wouldn't want a house that big if I'm literally on top of my neighbor. I can open my window and be like, "Hey, how's it going today?"
Is it a gated community?
No, there's a whole bunch. I know
All
there's a
right,
lot
because then
of
I
houses.
would wonder. I can understand if it's a gated community, because then it's like, oh well, you're all bunched together because
Yeah.
you're closed off. But hey, either way, this one I just saw a lot of trees, so it looked like it was out there, but it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful, and it looked very expensive. So Tommy's not gonna like
Well,
it. Then, all right, so we jump back to Tommy and
Cammy.
and Cammy. They make it over to the Cattlemen's club there.
Well, no, well, Cammy and Tommy are talking about a lot of stuff that's going on. And Cammy's kind of explaining everything. And again, I think this is a good filler, but this is when Angela calls to show the house.
Yes, that's right.
And she's like, and it's funny because you see Cammy going from being super sad and how like she was expecting to find emails from mistresses and different things like that. That's not what she finds.
No.
She finds out that he doesn't have money.
Yeah.
But then you start seeing her laugh because of how Angela is.
She has all this
And even
energy,
when she like shows her, and she's just kind of laughing.
you
know. So that was some filler that I think worked.
Yeah, but it's she plays a role. It definitely, yeah, like you said, it definitely helped out with Cammy because she needed a smile, and she seems to like her. So
it's at the right time. That's the biggest thing. They found a perfect time to throw this in to where it's this really sad moment and very serious moment with Cammy telling Tommy that Angela calls, and it breaks it up where now Cammy is laughing about something.
You know what? When I watch this show, other shows, a lot of shows where people are calling, they're always FaceTiming. In my personal life, FaceTime's not a big deal. I don't do that. If I get a call, I'm talking person. Do you do that? When people call you,
Very
is it
seldom.
just right? But I get it for shows because it's more camera angles and stuff like that. But I'm like, in the real world, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, my daughter will sometimes she'll do it. My ex will do it if she wants to show me something.
Okay.
Like, hey, look at this, or hey, what do you think about this for the kids? Something like that. But for the most part, I don't really. I do this enough. I do this enough.
Exactly.
All right?
Yeah. Because it's just every time he gets a call, if it's not Cooper, with daughter, wife,
it is it is. Yeah,
it's on
a lot.
It's on FaceTime, and he is driving, so
but that goes back to Angela's character.
She
has to show her face off.
Yeah. So vain.
Yeah.
But so then they get to the Cattlemen's Club. They see Alan. Tommy's like, all right, let me handle this. And Cam's like, no. This is my business now. And she wants to deal with it. So she walks over to him. She picks up a drink, just throws it in his face. Like, where's the money? What? The money's in a trust, and that's one of the things also mentioned in that car ride, that there are trust funds set up for Cammy and the girls that's detached from all this, that they should be good for life and everything is fine. And she had mentioned that this is not about the money. And then she goes into the whole thing. It's like, well, I think it could be about the money, because if he's in severe debt, I'm pretty sure the banks or whoever comes after him could go after that trust.
I don't think so. I think
you don't think so?
No, I think when the trusts are done, because he's passed away, those are now specifically for those. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Not a lawyer.
I think those trusts are specifically now for those people. They have nothing to do with him.
I just remember hearing some news many years ago. Remember, there was Murdoch or Maddox or the sports guy that was ripping players off. And he was taking all this money, and they brought him in, and they wanted to find the money, and he was giving money to his kids and setting up trusts and doing all this stuff.
But he's passed away. That's why I think.
So then that's probably all right. So yeah, if you're still alive, you can't do it. But yep. So she's starting the drinks, and guy comes over, and he's like, "Hey, this is a private club, the whole thing." And I had to take this audio. This is great.
This will work itself out in a minute.
Sir, this kind of behavior is unacceptable in a restaurant.
This is not a restaurant, it's a club. Restaurant's upstairs, so it's fine down here. Matter of fact, that's what clubs are for. You don't want to be throwing shit at your attorney upstairs in a restaurant. Membership has its privileges. Can I get an Ultra?
We don't carry Ultra.
Well, can you get me the rich man's version of it? Long neck, please.
The rich man's version.
You ask him what his name is. He says it's Bonner. He's like, they don't look like a Bonner. Bob. I'm calling you Bob.
That is, I do that all the time. I change people's names for if I can't remember, if I know I'm not going to remember, I just give them a different name. I get that. I can see why he did it. Bonner, he's like, that sounds like what was it, an island or something? He's like, no, I can't do that. You know, Bob.
I think Bonner, like, I don't know. Like, I've heard the name before. I did.
Oh, look at this. Well,
yeah.
I've heard a baseball player. There was a baseball player named Bonner.
I know I've heard Bonner before, so I don't really think about
Wasn't there an MMA guy, Stephen Bonner?
Oh, yeah, Stephen Bonner.
Right? I think so. Forrest Griffin during that time period, early days.
Bonner, he died.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, dude, he had like major drug problems.
Oh, don't tell me this. He was banger fights with Forrest Griffin. Oh
my God, there's a whole documentary on. I think he died. He went down some really bad paths. He blamed everyone else because he felt people didn't do enough for him. And
I remember him leaving the MMA world and then coming back, and he had a decent run, but then it didn't materialize into anything. And I didn't know that. Man,
I think he passed away. We're gonna do our research after this. So
yeah. All right, there we go. But yeah, that's happening. And then Tommy just is like, all right, I'm gonna end this right now. Don't worry.
He said it has to come to a head. Yeah, he died December 22nd of 2022.
Oh,
Sorry,
that
if I don't look it up, I was gonna. It's sad. There's a whole documentary on it. It's very sad. Like, see where it went. Anyway.
Oh man, but yeah, he goes over there. He smashes the bottle on his head. The glass. I mean, he just.
All right. I've never been hit with a bottle, but I have seen what bottles look like. We all know they do not shatter.
No, not like that.
No, if anything, you are cracking his head and you're going to knock him out.
Yeah, and he would start gushing blood everywhere, whole thing. But it was for the effect of this show. It looked cool. He grabbed him, slammed him.
Punches don't really make that sound either, but we
yeah. Which is interesting because the end result of this is just agreeing to have a meeting. You know, that's it. Because it's like they want to know where the money is. And he keeps saying it's a trust. No, he wasn't
ignoring her like she wasn't his boss anymore.
Of course. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's the one that knows all the money. Because I'm thinking that what they're thinking, at least Cami, that he's taking the money.
Yeah.
That he knows, since he's the only other person that knows where this money is, that he has it stashed away. And he's like, ta-da, let me go celebrate. It's Miller time. I'm rich.
This goes back to episode 1, where Cami has this meeting basically saying, hey, I'm now in charge. And if you thought my husband was bad, you're not going to like dealing with me.
Now, that's a cattleman's club. So I'm sure some of those people were in this meeting, in this club. And word will spread. It's like, oh, did you see? Cami just showed up. Yeah, or drinks. Tommy smashed a bottle on his head. Oh, this is crazy. No,
and Bob was saying, we have to call the cops. No one likes to tattletale Bob.
Right? That is true. Right? Snitches get stitches. Come on now.
And he agrees. Yeah, he agrees. And he said, no, you're meeting at my office. And then as he's leaving, he notices Danny.
When did Tommy have an office? I don't know where Tommy's office is. I thought he did all his work at it's his house, right?
I'm assuming that he means their office.
Monty's?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say that was an ongoing issue with Nate, right?
Well,
That he needs
again,
and
they're like 2
Rebecca needs
hours
an
away.
office.
Aren't they like 2 hours away from where they're drilling?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah, so
far.
they're not right
Further out.
there. So he's
Yeah.
not gonna drive out there because he said bring all your people, the little typewriter
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm. All right, bring all your little typewriter people. Oh man, but yeah, you see, perfect timing here. You got Dan just hanging out.
And as soon as he sees that, he knows he's in trouble because now Danny knows you have financial problems.
He watched. Yeah, he
Yes.
knows. Now, here's the thing. Is he a part of this club? He has to be. This is for Danny, or else he wouldn't be allowed there. Did he know? Because do you think he knew he was going to? Did he have someone follow Tommy? This is
I
just
think
perfect timing.
no.
This just
Yeah, I think this is well. They said where would a rich man be on a Friday afternoon?
yeah. I guess this is where they all
Well, it
go.
makes sense. Yep.
Yep. So he's
I
there.
wouldn't know because I'm not a rich man. That is
If I was
free
a
on
rich
Fridays.
man, but even if I was rich, I wouldn't hang out with these people. I just
No,
it
not
wouldn't
my
it
type
wouldn't
of people.
yeah, it wouldn't flow for me. Right. But he's there and they have some small talk, and it's like, okay, the things are getting interesting here because we also see that Angela shows up, and then we also see Dan's wife's there, and Angela gets along with everyone.
But there was no reason for Tommy to go and approach Danny. Like, I don't know what the reason for that was.
I think he felt he had to, because then even Danny was like, "Who's the gangster now? Look at that! I just saw you
Well,
smash a."
he could have just looked at him and walked away. Like, oh shit, we'll deal with this later. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. But Angela's there. She notices the fashion. She's admiring his suit, his shoes, his watch, the whole thing. Says, "Tommy, you need to dress like this." Come on now, for what he's doing. No. Bella, which is the wife of Dan, shows up, and then they just hang out. That's it. That's Cammy's over there. They I don't know, what's it? I think it was Angela that convinces everyone to sit down and drink. She's like, yeah, let's have some drinks. And then it was like, oh, I guess that's what we're doing now. We're gonna have some drinks here, And then they sit down. We get a quick scene with Ainsley, and we had talked about this in the last episode. Where's her friends? Remember the next door neighbor? There was some girls. Well, one of them shows up. She's there. So as much as we goof on Ainsley being a cheerleader and not being a real sport and all that stuff, yeah, it's hard work, whatever. We get that. But she's at night in the dark, doing her cheers. And the next door neighbor girl's out there just drinking. Yeah, with a margarita. It's like, just like, all right, do your thing. Hey, do you want some of this? And she's like, man, I'm in training. It's like,
so this is where Dale comes in. And him and Nate are talking, and basically says, "How's everyone doing?" He kind of explains everything. He says, "What do you think about it?" Well, we're going to need a cleanup. It's going to cost at least $20 million. It's going to take 2 years. Now, remember, Nate knows they don't have money right now, so he doesn't. But he understands the situation. But this is what I'm saying: like, these guys all have roles in this company that this is their specialty. And Tommy's asking Nate, and he's going on his word. Where again, we go back to Landman. Freddy's going to be going checking out everything. No one else is really in charge.
Yeah. But then also, keep going.
But no, I mean, this is realistic in my opinion. My boss asks me to do something, and he says, "I need you to go check this out. I have to go out to a client or whatever." He's not going out after me. Yep. He's taking my word for it.
And now you see how Monty was able to get all these bank loans, because if you have all these smart people around, because the main thing Nate said was like, is it worth it? Is it probably? He's like, oh yeah, definitely. In a couple of years, this is going to be great. This is great.
Yep.
Okay. So these two go into a bank and they say, hey, yeah, we got these problems, need this cleanup, but in the long term, we're going to be making money. This is it. Here you go. Here's a check. Go fix it.
On the outs, the oil was on top there.
Yeah, it was on top. It's ready. It's ready to go.
Well, we've already heard in what episode? Was it last episode or the episode before? How much barrels they were producing and how much it's worth. So they already know like 20 million is not going to be hard to cover once you start producing.
The only thing I could think of is that a bank would probably ask, like, hey, don't you have the 20 million to front this? Why do you need a loan? unless they're going to one bank, getting the loan, get that check, and then going to another bank and then paying. You know what I mean? It's like that
Robbing
handoff.
Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, and there's actually no real money. Oh man. But that's what we're gonna find out in the coming episodes, I'm sure. That's where it comes in. We jump back to Dan, Tommy, everybody's hanging out. Bella tells a story of how she met Dan. Pretty interesting. He's from Cuba, she's from Italy. They did that whole thing. That's where we get the title of the episode, Almost a Home, because that's what he said when they made it back to where she was from. And basically that, he wants to be with her. Oh, that's great. There we go.
And then they finally talk to Cami. Danny finally talks to Cami and lets her know, oh, I'm an investor. Come to me if you need anything. This is where we know it's going to get real. Something's going to happen. Tommy's going to say, don't do it. She's going to say, we need the money. He's the one. And this is going to be season 3, what they have to fix.
Or the rest of the season. Yeah, because that was the thing right before everyone's saying their goodbyes. She also said 7 weeks. It's been 7 weeks. Yeah. And she was like, she loved the story that Bella told. And she's like, you treasure it, the whole thing. But the main part of this is the fact that this proves again that Dan was not at that breakfast meeting, because he would have known, because she was on stage.
Yeah, she may not have known who he was.
Yeah, she invited all these people.
Yeah, so that's where we're like, all right, so there was someone else that looked like him, and I thought there was a Dan that they specifically talked to.
Some people thought it was the first guy that approached Tommy about buying some stuff. Yeah, that was a different dude. That was definitely a different guy.
Oh.
But yeah, 7 years holding. But then right before they leave, Tommy starts talking, and Dan was like, "Hey, see, we can work. We could be buddies. We're friends." He's like, "No. That had to be earned." I was like, this is not happening. I'm not going for this. But then, like you just said, but then Cami talks and he says, you know what? I invest in people. And it's like, oh, that's great. I was like, Tommy needs to he should have pulled her with him. Like, come on, no, we got to go. Don't talk to this guy. Yeah, you talk to his wife and all stuff. But this gets Tommy in trouble, because right before that, once he goes to say goodbye, he's like, you know what? But your wife is nice. I like your wife.
He said, I love your wife.
Yeah, he said, I love your wife.
How did you take that? Like, how did you take that when he said it?
That because she was telling a story. If she was quiet and said nothing, then it's a visual thing. You've been checking out my wife. But she was there telling a story. She was very animated with the whole thing. She pulled them in. And that's what he loved about her. He loved her energy. That's what I got from it, because obviously Angelo was a big fan of Bella as well. They were getting along. And he's like, yeah, I love your wife. I think if I would have said it, I would have added more to the sentence. I was like, oh, I love your wife. She was very, she was interesting in telling the whole backstory. That was great, how you guys met. But
I took it as, I love your wife, as in, like, basically those two just let them talk. Like, those two just talked. I didn't have to deal with them. Like, she occupied Angela. Thank you very much. I love your wife. She can be anywhere, right? Because it's gonna take her leaving him alone. Because at some point, I forget when, Cami says, now I see why you smoke.
Yeah. That was when they were going back and forth and talking the whole thing, and she was like, he's like this all the time. Like, yeah, this is just the way she is. And he was like, oh yeah, I get why you smoke. But it's true. But either way, they get in the car. There's an argument, and then Angela starts crying. He's like, now that scares me. Why are you crying? And it's like, well, because you called me your wife. And he's like, well, we're around each other long enough. It just makes sense with all the stuff. And then she was like, oh, so are we doing this? And she pretty much took the whole thing as a proposal. He's like, what are we doing? What I say? Well, yeah, I mean, oh boy. And then she's like, I'm going to finish what I started. And then the car starts swerving again. He said some line. It's not a snow cone or something. No, it's a popsicle.
Not a snow cone.
It's a popsicle. Oh man. Oh, these lines are hilarious. It's just brings a tear to my eye. Oh man.
And then the show ends with Cami, and she has a picture of Monty and her, and then she breaks down and drops to the floor and cries.
And we hear, what was that, wolves or coyotes in the background? I guess reacting to her crying.
Yeah.
And they start crying as well, or Yeah, I'm sure somebody.
They were
will
making
bring that
fun of
up.
her. I don't know, one of the other.
Right, they were like, oh boy. But overall, long episode. Almost all these episodes are long. And as I brought up, the next one is over 60 minutes. So episode
And
4 is
that's
going
no
to be a long
commercial.
one.
That's no. I mean,
No commercials,
you
people.
don't get shows like that anymore, right? I mean,
No. We no. They don't do it that way. No. Then again, I'm sure someone's like, but what about Stranger Things? So I've just finished watching the first
I haven't
drop.
watched it yet.
There's multiple parts. No spoilers here. I watched it with my version of Olivia. Right, we're watching this, and each episode is like an hour and a half long. They're pretty long. I was like, wow. I'm like, we're still watching the first
what my
episode.
moderator was saying.
Yeah, I'm like, is this still the first episode? We're looking at the runtime. I'm like, yeah, we still got another hour. I was like, shoosh. They could have. Then why did they wait so long to drop this? They could have dropped this, cut it up. Take those extra half hours. You could have made another episode. You could have had 6 or 7, for the first part, because we have this part, we have a Christmas one, and then I think there's one in the New Year.
Yeah,
there's 3 parts of it. But that's fantastic. But just to stick on topic, that's the only thing that I know that's long. And also Ken Burns, the American Revolution. Been watching that. 6 parts. Each one is over 2 hours long. What? Yeah, that is, and I'm on the last part. Okay, that's what I'm doing when I'm not recording people. I'm still watching shows, an unhealthy amount of damn TV. That's me. That's what I've been doing. The Ken Burns, love it. I recommend everybody watch it. A lot of stuff I thought I knew everything about. I'm a big history buff. I thought I knew it all. I did not. There was a lot there that I was like, oh, I didn't know this. They bring up documents. It's not hearsay. They're like, oh, this is from this document from this colonel. This is what he wrote. Like, oh, okay. Really good, worth checking out, but very long. Have a lot of time on your hands if you can. All right, everybody. I think that was it. Everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. If you made it this far, and from the numbers, a lot of you do. You stick around, whether it's in a drive or you're doing stuff, because we're talking. Thank you all. We really do appreciate the likes, the subs, the hypes, which I'm still trying to figure that out, but I do see the reports.
I don't have hype on my account.
Some people don't. I had another buddy of mine. He was like, I don't have that button, and he's got way more subs. And I was like, I don't know.
I have other accounts that don't have 8,000 plus subs that have it. This one does not. Like my main one does not, which kind of makes me laugh.
So crazy. But hey, everybody, thanks again. We will be back next week for episode 4. We also have other stuff, like I mentioned, going on. We finished Tulsa King, and then we're still covering Mayor of Kingstown. So that should be episode 6 when this drops. They both drop the same day. So we'll see episode 6 up there. Thanks again, everybody. And we will be back next week. All right, everybody. Peace.
Take care.